Good evening, Chris Lee and Alfred Esmond of Southeastern 16 here for a Friday night SEC baseball recap. We've got almost all the games in the books. We're waiting on Vanderbilt and Oklahoma to finish up. This is an 8-3 Oklahoma game in the bottom of the eighth in Norman. Other than that, here's what we've got in the book so far. We've got Liam Doyle going back to his old stomping grounds of Oxford, Tennessee, winning 3-2 in that one. Sam Dutton takes on LSU. Auburn gets up big in that one, holds on at the end to defeat LSU in Auburn. We've got Arkansas blasting Georgia on the road, piling on the runs late. We've got A&M smoking South Carolina, 17-0 to win the series. We've got Texas winning at at Kentucky in a Texas-like way. We got Mississippi State clobbering Alabama on the road. Good grief. State's quietly getting a little bit hot, perhaps. And Missouri, Florida rained out. Alfred Esmond, thanks for joining me tonight. I guess the place to start would have to be Oxford, where Liam Doyle pitched to Jim. I think it was 14 strikeouts, 8 1/3 innings. I don't have it in front of me. That's from memory. But what a performance by Liam Doyle, who just dominated a pretty good hitting Ole Miss lineup in a spot where, frankly, he had a lot to lose given the circumstances coming in. But hats off to that kid. Pitched a heck of a ball game. Tennessee holds on in the ninth with a couple of relievers to win it.
Yeah, talk about a return. I mean, 14 strikeouts. He had 9 through 4 innings and just kept rolling. You went an 8 1/3, gave up only 3 hits, and of course the two earned runs that Ole Miss had in the game were from him. But then Nate Snead and Dylan Lloyd came in and shut things down from there. Both of them recorded an out. Great stuff from Liam Doyle. This is, I have a feeling, going to be the pitching performance of the weekend, barring something happening Saturday and Sunday. I probably spoke too soon when I said that, but I'm going to go ahead and stick to my guns and say that might have been the performance of the weekend.
Yeah.
This is big. That was big. That was a big bounce back for Tennessee to have that kind of pitching. I mean, prior to last weekend's series against Texas A&M, they were the number 1 pitching team in the country based off team ERA. And that, just based off Liam Doyle's performance, looked to get back to form. So very nice job by Mr. Doyle. And he was, Chris, I don't know if you watched any of that one. He was amped throughout that whole game. He was feeling himself. And I have a feeling going forward, if Liam Doyle is that amped, best of luck hitting against that guy.
Yeah, I mean, that was a vintage Liam Doyle performance. I think the thing for him is pitch efficiency, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you've got a high strikeout guy, if you're off a little bit with your control, that can be one of these things where you look up and you've struck out 9 guys in 3 2/3 innings, but you've thrown 80 pitches, and we've seen that from him from time to time. Tonight was not that night. I think he got just a little bit over 100 pitches, maybe. Sam says 111.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. That is a very underrated commodity. Certainly in college baseball, not a lot of guys can do that.
Yeah, of course not. I also, Chris, just talking about this game, want to give a shout out to Gavin Keelan. In the lineup for Tennessee. He had 2 hits tonight, led the team in hitting. Prior to getting hurt, he was getting Golden Spikes noise, and Tony Vitello has not had a Golden Spikes winner yet in his time in Tennessee. Kind of shocking, considering how good they've been and how many good players they've had. But I don't know how far Gavin Keelan is. He probably dropped some, obviously, because of his injury, but this is quite the comeback performance to have off of an injury, and I'm sure they're happy to have him back in the lineup.
Yeah, I was not really expecting that. It didn't. Did you hear anything to indicate? I mean, I think they talked about him maybe being close, and a lot of times that means a pinch hitting spot here or two.
I actually,
here and there. Okay.
Yeah, I actually heard Fox Sports Knoxville. Jack Foster was on with them. Shout out Jack Foster for this, and he said he was going to be ready to go. And I caught like a snippet of them talking about him briefly, so I should have sent that in, but I expected him to come back. I didn't really expect him to go out there and just lead this team hitting wise, which was really nice to see, I'm sure.
Yeah, not really an offensive highlight of the night, which wasn't surprising given who you had on the mound. Although Hunter Elliott was not really the star of the night for Ole Miss. That would have been Mason Morris, who was terrific in relief. But now the problem, and we'll get into this with some other series, is Morris is their best kind of longer bullpen arm, and you burned him in a game you lost.
Yeah. Yeah, that's trouble for Ole Miss. And obviously, you kind of want your offense to wake up a little bit more when you give up only 3 runs to Tennessee, right? I mean, Austin Foley and Luke Hill were the only 2 guys with hits. Sanford was quiet, Moorman was quiet, Udermark was quiet, Furness, everyone else, right? Everyone else was quiet besides those 2 guys. So you're looking to you're looking to wake up offensively for Ole Miss and try to take the next 2 games realistically in your home ballpark.
Yeah, which is going to be tough because the starting pitching drops off a good bit after Elliott. Mason Nichols is a respectable SEC starting pitcher, but that was their best guy in Elliott, and they used their best long reliever. I mean, they've got some other guys, Walker Hooks, Connor Spencer, but they just do not have the depth of arms who can go really deep and shove into games. And I think that's potentially a separator going forward because Tennessee's got a couple of those, to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to go LSU, Auburn, or Arkansas, Georgia next?
You pick. I'll let you pick this one.
Well, I'll just go in order. I've got LSU.
Okay.
Auburn. Auburn wins the Chris Stanfield for Sam Dutton trade, apparently. So we have that. But, I mean, really, that's another thing. It's like the spot that Doyle was in, although this one is in your home park now in Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
But facing his old team with all those guys, Bear Jones, that was not an easy spot. And he continues. Man, he's been so consistent. I would have to look at the game log, but I feel like Sam Dutton is like 6 innings every week and like 0, 1, 2 runs. And again, that is really, really hard to do right now in college baseball.
Very hard to do. And shout out coming in behind him, not Cam Tilley, but after Carson Myers coming in 2 2/3, 4 strikeouts, did give up that 1 earned run, but he closed out the final 2 2/3 of the game against a really tough LSU lineup, which is hard to do. So great stuff out of that bullpen for Auburn. That's something I don't know if we've really been too concerned about it, but it was a footnote for us, for me at least, I feel like, was their bullpen. And, it wasn't perfect per se, but it was enough. And especially you needed that too when LSU was kind of climbing back late when Auburn jumped ahead early. So good stuff from Myers tonight as well.
Yeah, and again, that's another one you would have liked to have gotten through that game, maybe without using him. He's one of their better guys. They had an 8-0 lead, and that one got interesting kind of late. But I mean, that's no shock because LSU can do that with that lineup, and it's better to be safe than sorry. I'm not saying that to criticize Butch Thompson because the guy knows what he's doing. And again, I mean, they could LSU can put an 8 spot up on you an inning, but big one for Auburn there. To get that to open the series, I do think the pitching advantage tilts LSU after this one, but you got one, split the rest, and you've come out with a series win, which is going to be if you can do with that. If you're Auburn, that's going to be a big thing. That's going to help you in a hosting spot situation where you got 10, 11 teams that have got a shot at it at this point.
Right. Well, they're up there too at this point to start at least being considered in national seed territory if they keep that up, right? I mean, they're up in the top 10, so that's just something to keep an eye on. And the I'm shocked. This is one thing I did not expect, and there were a few of these moments tonight. Getting to Kate Anderson like they did in that lineup, 8 Auburn players with hits in this one. Chase Fralick continues his great season with 2 hits tonight. Eric Guevara, they're so happy to have him back. 2 hits tonight for him. And then Bub Terrell, 3-hit night for him, 2 doubles on the night. And then Chris Rembert, just another freshman in this league who's doing great, 2 hits tonight as well. I mean, just tons of guys with multiple hits and tons of guys with hits in general. So good job by Auburn tonight. I mean, that, beating LSU as a whole is hard, but doing it with Kate Anderson on the mound off of last weekend's performance against Oklahoma, that's even more impressive to me.
Yeah, good call on Fralick. I was going to call that one. He has been so good for them. If we pick an all-freshman team at the end of the season, he's going to be on there, and he's going to have some teammates on there too.
He will. Yeah.
Yeah, I think getting to Kate Anderson stood out too. I'm pretty sure that's Anderson's worst outing of the year without looking. I mean, 6
Yeah.
runs, 5 of those earned, 4 and a third after what he did last week. And I don't know, maybe that begs some questions about 135 pitches in Norman. Maybe that's just what happens against an Auburn team that's pretty good hitting team. I think a little bit underrated.
Right. No, and LSU, I think, you had Derek Curiel do good with 2 hits tonight. But Bear Jones only had 1 hit and 5 at bats. You're kind of used to him. This is me complimenting Bear Jones. You're used to seeing him produce more than that in 5 at bats than just 1 hit. But guys like Stephen Milam went 0 for, Luis Hernandez went 0 for, John Pearson 0 for, Ethan Fry went 0 for. So you kind of want some of those guys to step up in the next few games as well. I would be shocked if LSU does not win a game here. No offense to any Auburn people watching.
Yeah.
It's just because they're that good of a team. And I expect some of those other guys that didn't get hits to get hits in the next couple games. But you're gonna take anything you can get against this team if you're Auburn, and they got theirs tonight, which was huge.
Yeah, pitching matchups, they'll go Ianson and Cade Fisher tomorrow. That certainly tilts LSU. Although with Fisher, you never know. He's been shown up and been great in spots. More often he hasn't. And then you got Shores versus TBA on Sunday. And Shores was, the way he threw last week was one of his better outings of the year. So pitching edge, absolutely, I think tilts to LSU at this point. But they're 1 down. So we'll see how that one goes. Where else the pitching edge tilts? That's Arkansas. Holy smokes, Alfred. They're just relentless. Georgia held them down early a little bit with Curley. Georgia gets up, 3-0 on, I think, a Branch home run gave them maybe 2 of those. And then it's just Katie bar the door. The Eloy brothers, they just are so hard to pitch to up and down that lineup. And it was kind of the thing I was concerned with Georgia's pitching is, do you have the dominant arms to shut them down? And the best one is, he's thrown his pitches for the series now.
Right. No, and I mean, Georgia went ahead early, right? I mean, Branch homered for them, and then they got another run in too via Devin Obi with a fielder's choice play. But I think the turning moment came obviously late in this game in the final innings. Vahiva Aloy homered in the 8th, and from there, Arkansas just took off. I mean, 9 runs in the 8th and 9th innings for them, and that was that. I mean, Georgia just had no answer from the back end of their bullpen that they threw out there tonight, and they threw a lot of guys in those final innings. You saw Hammond go out there, Stevens, Farley, Justin Bird as well. No one could get outs. I mean, none of the guys that just named went more than 2/3 of an inning. So that was the real problem for Georgia there. And I think if you relax for a moment against Arkansas, they're going to make you pay, and that happened in this one late. And I mean, that was the story up until that point in the 8th inning. This was a really good game. I mean, it was tied for a lot of it. Arkansas broke ahead in the 7th with Frazier getting a triple in there, and I mean, that's how it went. I think the bullpen just broke down, and once it does that, it's just it's a snowball effect, and you can't do that again if you're Georgia. And I'm sure if you're Georgia, you're going to want to get at least a win or 2 against this Arkansas team, especially if you get them at home in Foley Field, where I thought they had maybe a little advantage there, even despite picking Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean, they're hard to beat in that park because, even though it on paper it's a left-handed hitting paradise, that lineup is so right-handed dominant because the ball just flies out to left. The dimensions almost don't seem to matter. But I think that game kind of got lost when Eric Hammond couldn't get outs because he's maybe their best bullpen arm, certainly one of them by this point. Then they just went to Jordan Stevens, Paul Farley, who's a freshman, and it got a little ugly there. I thought Zach Root gave Arkansas everything it needed. 5 2/3, 3 earned on paper isn't great, but against that lineup and that place that you will take that just about anywhere, anytime, any day if you're any team. Aiden Jimenez came in and was really good, and they got Dylan Carter a scoreless one at the end. But I think the Aloy brothers, to me, were the on-field highlight in this one. Now, a couple things of note. You had the Nolan Souza injury. I didn't see what happened. I went out for a kitchen break, came back in, and he was, in a clump near third base with the training staff looking at him, and had his shoulder ice. Sound like he's going to be out a while.
Mm-hmm.
So don't know what the diagnosis there. I don't know if that was like a separated shoulder. And then for Georgia, you had Trey Phelps make his first appearance. He was out eight games with a hamstring. So those are two notes from tonight to I think of meaning going forward.
Yeah, I hope Souza turns out okay. Well, it's good for Georgia to get Phelps back, obviously. I mean, that's the big name in their lineup, arguably, along with Alford. And then as far as Souza goes, I hope he gets back quickly because, of course, he had that kind of rough start to the year and then turned it on as of late as this offense started to come alive more and more throughout the year. And, now to have it derailed again a little bit kind of stinks for him, right? But hopefully he gets back okay. Again, Arkansas can just use all the help they can get. It makes them that much better. And we'll see the diagnosis and how that turns out, but I'm sure this Arkansas offense can hold their own afterward, without him in Athens based on what they did tonight.
Yeah. That was Arkansas is just look, we put them number one in the power rankings this week, and there was nothing tonight to indicate that that's undeserved.
Yeah, they're deservedly. They're not just our power rankings, the best team in the country. I mean, they deserve their number one ranking.
Yeah, I think next thing here probably, and we'll get to some comments and questions later. By the way, leave a super chat if you don't mind. That'll ensure that we get to it. The other thing about that is that helps our channel out too. So got bills to pay here, so we always appreciate those. Let's see. I think A&M was I don't know, Mississippi State too. Well, all these games are meaningful for the most part, but let's go to A&M because that one ended quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Run rule South Carolina 17-0. If you didn't catch it last night, I think it went to 11 innings, and Caden Sorrell walked off South Carolina, which I think is probably run out of pitching at this point, or most effective guys. Last night you had Blake Bender up with a grand slam. Tonight you had Justin Lampkin go 6 shutout. He's been very good for them. Bear Harrison homers, 7 RBIs. Caden Kent homers with 3 hits, 4 RBIs, and A&M just lit up whoever was on the mound. That was Becker, Parks, Kimball, didn't matter. But A&M, look out, man. RPI now in range of being able to get in the tournament. They got to take care of business in conference play and win enough games. But that was this team has been scoring a lot of runs lately.
This is A&M. We were expected, or we were promised, right? This past stretch going back to last week against Tennessee up until really tonight's game. I mean, this was just a beatdown from the beginning. South Carolina pitching wise, looking at what they struggled with. Matthew Becker just was not that good. I mean, three innings of work, 6 earned runs. And then, you had Cooper Parks give up 5 earned runs. Roman Kimball came in, gave up 4 earned runs. Zach Russell was really the only one to be somewhat efficient, although he did give up 2 runs that were unearned. A&M laid the beat down, and it just didn't turn back. You had Caden Kent have a really good game and step up for guys like Caden Sorrell, who was the hero last night, went 0 for tonight, but it didn't matter because of what his teammates did. Jay Slavalette, multi-hit game for him. He also drew some walks. That guy is just good at everything baseball. Just watching him play, he gets walks, he homers, he makes plays in the outfield, he does it all. So obviously a joy to watch with him being a top five prospect. But yeah, I mean, just my takeaway is that this is the A&M we were promised, and a 17-0 run rule win in SEC play really is the deciding factor in that.
Yeah, and they'll go Miles Patton versus TBA tomorrow in the finale, which Patton's, top 2 or 3, number 3 starter in the league probably.
Right.
Good evening, Graham.
Hello, Graham.
What's up? Was listening for a little bit. You guys sound great as always. What a weird and interesting night of SEC baseball. A lot of scores that raised some eyebrows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not as interesting as I would have liked. You had some run rule games. Ole Miss, that one was fascinating, but I mean, yeah, the results were interesting, even if the games weren't always. Let's go, and Graham, we'll circle back with you later. We've hit Tennessee, Ole Miss, LSU, Auburn, Arkansas, Georgia, A&M, South Carolina. Let's go to Texas, Kentucky, which I caught some of that. I mean, the best thing the thing I'd say about it just was like a Texas type win. Seemed like they're winning a lot of these 6-2, 6-3 type games. Tonight was another one. It wasn't the best Jared Spencer, but it was good enough. The bullpen was good again. And look, Kentucky's a team that's tough to go deep in the games against because they will just, foul off pitches and take walks and do all kinds of stuff, steal bases. But you had to be thrilled if you're Texas going in Lexington and picking one up tonight.
Yeah. The Texas people, by the way, I don't know if you've noticed, Chris and Graham, they are out and active in our chat.
Yeah.
No way. No way.
I saw we did A&M before them, and that was not okay. I saw when's Texas going to come up. Texas is here, guys. Let's talk Texas. The thing that stands out to me, Jared Spencer and Max Grubbs combined for 13 strikeouts. Kentucky likes to get guys on bases and then do their funky little game, with that. And when those two guys strike out 13 of them, that's not going to happen. And that really kept their offense down for a while and allowed their own offense to take advantage. Granted, Kentucky did take the lead for a little bit in this game, but the 7th and 8th innings were all Longhorns. And great games from Ethan Mendoza, Rylan Galvan, Will Gasparino, Kimball Schuessler, all with multi-hit nights of the guys I just named. Mendoza, too, 4 RBIs. It's nice to see him kind of having games we were used to seeing him have earlier in the year. Really good win for Texas. I like what you said, Chris. It was a Texas win. I mean, they really just kind of laid it to them with the pitching, and then the offense just picked up and carried it from there. They're clearly just, one of the best teams in the SEC at this point and proved it again tonight.
Yeah. Also, the other thing of note in this game, this is the first SEC game that Kentucky did not have the lead in. So Kentucky or Texas, they scored first in the third. So Kentucky never really threatened, not of a lot of opportunities tonight for Kentucky, and Texas just does what they continue to do. I mean, what a smooth transition this has been for Schlossnagle and his staff.
Yeah.
The last, let's see, 8 SEC games. Here's what that pitching staff's given up. 2 runs, 4, 4, 1, 1, 4, 3, 3.
It's pretty good.
Do you know how hard that is to do against anybody?
Mm-hmm. That leads to 9 straight SEC wins, like what they have right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
they should just rain out their midweek games because that's where they have trouble.
Right. Honestly, I mean, it's you'll take that trade off though if you're Texas. I mean, you're killing it really in SEC play in your first year. It's great to see. And Jared Jones, he's cheering for Texas, which is weird, but he was right. Kentucky did take a 2-1 lead in that game, but Texas again picked up and maintained control after the 7th and 8th inning. I mean, this was when you have Ethan Mendoza play the way he did, along with other guys, and the pitching did what they normally have done the past handful of games in SEC play. You're going to get wins against really anybody, even not only just Kentucky like they did tonight.
Yeah. I cannot find a box score on this one because I wanted to check something, but anyway, stuff that stood out tonight. Ethan Mendoza just continues to rake 2 more hits, 4 RBIs tonight. Again, Spencer wasn't the best Spencer, but it was pretty good. I mean, 4 2/3, 1 run. That passes for a pretty good start in college baseball now. I think Adrian Rodriguez was out tonight, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. He played. He played.
Oh, he did play. Okay.
He was the DH tonight.
I thought I saw him. He went 0 first. That's why I was like, I don't know if he played. Sorry, Texas fan. But you're probably just glad to see him back out there.
Yeah. So, I mean, Texas is – let me check the standings quickly because they're and then a tie. I guess it's them and Arkansas at this point.
Yeah, I mean, their SEC record is, I think they still have just one loss in SEC play.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
And Arkansas is the only team in that category.
Yeah, and a bonus win too. Like it doesn't count in the standings, but they got the win against Ole Miss too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The one the first weekend of the year. I mean, so right now, it's really going to be a 4-team race for the title. You've got LSU and Tennessee a couple games back. Some of that's going to sort itself out because a lot of these teams play each other. But I don't think Texas. Yeah, Texas avoids what? Alabama, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Tennessee, Vandy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Yeah,
that's right.
Okay.
So
and they've
really,
already taken down LSU.
Yeah, of those that you listed, I would say only 2 would somewhat threaten Texas. And Texas has already beat Ole Miss, so
yeah,
I would feel confident against the Longhorns on with the other names in that list that you just read off.
Yeah, I think they're a top. That's your top 4 at this point. With Georgia's pitching issues, I think those teams have separated.
Yeah. And what Randy's saying in the chat, like, yeah, Texas has a rich history, but like you got a head coach, you're all in now. Like that's the difference. You know, you got way more resources, you got great facilities, great support. You got a head coach that demands perfection, and you see what Texas is.
Yeah.
And we talk about how good their pitching has been. It's because they have the best pitching coach in the country at this point. And Max. So
yeah, he's been well. The Frank Anderson would have a pretty good argument there, but it's a pretty good list that at the top that he'd be on for sure.
Right.
Okay, the one game we have not hit yet because Florida Missouri was rained out. We've got Mississippi State beating Alabama in Tuscaloosa 13-3. State's gotten a little bit hot in conference play. Of course, that was a little bit against South Carolina, which is starting to look just pretty dreadful, to be honest. But I think the story here tonight, Stone Simmons giving them 4 scoreless in relief. Sawyer Reeves had 4 RBIs. Hunter Hines, as you notice, did he break the home run record? How close is he now?
He is 5 away
from Rafael Palmeiro.
Yes, yeah. He passed Will Clark tonight.
Yeah, okay. Getting a little concerned about Alabama. The offense hasn't been there as much recently. Zane Adams was not good tonight, giving up 7 in 4 innings. JT Blackwood, who'd been really good out of the pen, gave up 3 in the third. Justin LeBron did hit a home run. Feels like he hadn't been hitting many of those lately. But State, I think, is good enough to get into a regional if it can get hot down the stretch. And that's how you wanted to start that series. And what you've got coming up, you've still got Florida on the schedule. You still got Missouri on the schedule. Look, Auburn, Kentucky, Ole Miss are not going to be easy, but they avoid that top 4 from here on out. They've already got the toughest ones behind them. So keep an eye on that. If State can get another win this weekend, we can start to have the potential regional conversation here.
I guess my question is, like, is this 2 ships passing in the night? Like, is Mississippi State trending in one direction and Alabama in the other one? Or do you want to wait and see how it shakes out the rest of the weekend? Because State, they got the confidence after series victory against South Carolina. They go on the road. And, I mean, I think we all picked Alabama in this series. I didn't see State doing this tonight. I didn't see them run ruling Alabama on the road.
Yeah. The good news. the good news for Mississippi. Yeah, the good news for Mississippi State too. They used only Pico Cone and Stone Simmons. They have pitching against this Alabama lineup to use. So that works into their advantage too. Alabama really, to me, they have to find high levels of hitting from other guys not named Justin LeBron. And to be fair on them, they had a few of that. I mean, Bryce Fowler and Richie Bonamalo both had 2 hits. Bonamalo tripled. but like still, I mean, it's just so that's 3 or 2, not including LeBron, 3 guys really giving you a lot of hits. If you're Alabama, you got to find more,
Mhm.
right? And that's kind of been a theme I feel like since SEC play, where they've kind of mellowed out, if you will. I'm not totally concerned yet. You really kind of want to win this series, though. That I will say. So you have to head into tomorrow with your head on really straight if you're the Crimson Tide, but that's my thing with them is Justin LeBron has kind of backpacked a little, to say the least in SEC play, and it's especially concerning when Mississippi State has a ton of pitching left.
Yeah, and like Alfred, what you're touching on, Hodo 0 for 4 tonight. So like,
Yeesh.
if they want to have success this weekend, like he's gonna have to step up.
Yeah. I'm not, to answer your question, I'm certainly not hitting the panic button on them. I
Mm-mm.
mean, and remember, you play, unless you're drawing Missouri and maybe now South Carolina, you're playing a good team every night in this league.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm a big fan of what Rob Vaughn's done. He has assembled a gritty roster. We had him on before the season, and he was very clear about their program philosophy. He was a guy that when he was in high school got overlooked, had to struggle to get his opportunity, got that at Kansas State, grinded it out in the minors for a couple of years, and he looks for kids who are hungry like he is. And so I don't think that's one thing that he's got going for him. This team's not going to pack it in the way that it's built. And so I do think, now here's the thing. If your state, you've used your best starting pitcher and your best reliever. I want to see what Bama gets out of Riley quick, and then I think Alcock is their third guy right now, right?
Yes.
Usually, I don't know. Although, did they go TBA? Yeah, it's Sunday is Carson Ligon versus TBA for Alabama.
Okay.
Tomorrow
So
we get Sierra and Quick, and Alabama's got the edge there.
Right. So yeah, we'll see what they do on Sunday. I don't know if Alcock pitched during the midweek. I can't recall or not, because it's usually that's the go-to for them on Sunday, even when they have TBA listed up there. So
Yeah,
we'll see. But yeah, the Riley Quick game, this game tomorrow might be pretty crucial for them, just to really find good footing and offense. More people than LeBron getting hits, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like I know we touched on it, but State has found something with Simmons on the back end. Like he was great tonight in his 4 innings. He was the Sunday starter the first 2-3 weekends, and then he settled into this role, and he seems comfortable. I mean, you can very clearly see that, and that is quite the 1-2 combination with Pico and Simmons right behind him.
Yeah. Graham, you missed the first 4 series portion of the show, and again, that was, we talked Ole Miss, Tennessee, we talked LSU, Auburn, Arkansas, Georgia, and A&M, South Carolina. So, any of those you wanted to chime in since you missed that?
Yeah, well, just like boy, A&M, like. Again, South Carolina, not world beaters by any means, but like, is this the A&M that everybody anticipated to see from day one? I mean, their offense looked great. Like, I know they got some guys back healthy, but is this what they're going to look like moving forward? And then I think, to me, the biggest surprise of the night, maybe the Auburn win against LSU. Just by that separation as well. I mean, again, Auburn's good. I just kind of think that everybody gets in their mind before the preseason starts, like what a team will look like. Oh, Auburn wasn't good last year. They're not going to be good this year. Well, I mean, they're good. They've only dropped 1 conference series that was on the road in Athens. Other than that, they've been really, really good. And you kind of saw Auburn do that against a very good LSU team tonight.
Yeah.
I told Chris Graham if they win this series and end up doing that you got to start at least kind of mentioning them in national seed talks a little bit with what they've done.
Yeah,
because they're a top 10 team in the country. I mean, it's like you're right there partially, but there's a long way to go. But you got to at least mention it. So I saw Kevin's comment.
Yeah.
What did he say?
What's that?
I'm trying to
DVH. 1,500 wins.
That's a lot. He's been
Yeah.
Nebraska, Arkansas. Has there been another stop?
I think was he
We have to look.
JUCO before Nebraska? It doesn't matter. Like 1,500 is an insane amount of wins.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and he took Nebraska to places Nebraska's, the baseball program's never been.
Right. Chamberlain
before
days.
Or since. Yeah. I mean, that was working pretty well. Who was the leadoff guy they had? Darren Erstad, who also punted. Okay, he's been, let's see. He has been Central Missouri, which is Division II, and where else? This isn't laid out very well. But anyway, congrats to Dave Van Horn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
remarkably consistent.
Yeah, without a doubt. And Alfred, I saw you put this on social media too. His Arkansas is one of the schools in the league. They do the Hog Plus. You know, some of the schools across the country, they do their version of ESPN Plus with extra access. They had the cameras on him. I couldn't tell if he was speaking to his team or if it was like an alumni event, but he was talking about the hitting and the hitting coach, and just don't call him or text him about making a change with his hitting coach anymore. I just thought that was cool. Like, you could tell that has been on his mind a little bit, and just the way their offense has played this season, he deserves to stick his chest out a little bit.
And hey, the Hog people in our chat are over here just ripping stats at us about offense. I mean, double digits in 7 of 13 SEC games. Someone else said something in earlier. I think it was the total runs in SEC play last year was 154. They have 151 in SEC play right now. Right now, as of April 11th. And there's a lot more SEC games to go, and they're going to score more than 3. So, more than 3 runs. So, yeah, this offense is not Arkansas offense we saw last year or in the past or anything like that. This is a different animal coming to the forefront for them, and it's made them the number 1 team in the country at this point in time.
Yeah, if you take the runs scored for a full 9 innings, which is, I don't know why people aren't doing that more, because you're losing so much baseball to run rules, especially when you're the home team. You run rule a team in 7. That means you got 3 full innings you don't hit. They overtook Tennessee after last weekend as the top scoring team in the league. Mm-hmm. And I think they've only put some distance between them and Tennessee since then.
Definitely tonight.
By the way, I looked it up. Van Horn, JUCO head coach, Texarkana, Central Missouri State. Then he was at Northwestern State, Nebraska, Arkansas. They're counting his JUCO wins for 1,500.
Okay.
There's another SEC head coach at Northwestern State, by the way. Can you name him? Not current. Not current. He's an AD in the league now, if that helps.
At Northwestern State?
Yeah.
A baseball coach.
Yep.
Oh, man. It'd have to be somebody from the Delta area, right?
Well, do you want me to tell you who it is?
Yeah, John Cohen.
John Cohen was also the head coach at Northwestern State.
He's the AD there now? No, wait.
Well, I said he's the AD at Auburn, yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. So wait, what was the question? I'm confused.
Just how about Northwestern State pumping out 2 SEC baseball coaches?
Okay, got you.
Yes,
yeah. Let's see what else we got. Oh, you know what? We need to get to Vandy, Oklahoma, because that one had not ended when we started it and we tabled it. The storyline here: Kyson Witherspoon did not pitch, back spasms. He's going to pitch later in the weekend, according to Skip Johnson.
Which is not good news for Vandy.
No, you had to take the win tonight. They threw Cade Crossland, who had not been that effective. He had a career high in strikeouts. A lefty who was just up there dealing, throwing strikes. Oklahoma just pieced together runs like Oklahoma does. It got a bomb late in the game. The Walk kid scored from second on a pass ball. Did you guys see that?
Yeah. Jason Walk, yeah.
That was amazing. I mean, I think he made up his mind as soon as it got by the catcher that he was going, and he never stopped.
They got back to form, Oklahoma, on offense tonight, and it was really nice to see. I mean, especially with J.D. Thompson on the mound. You had really good games from Walk with 3 hits. Jackson Willits homered. He had 2 hits. Trey Gamble with 2 hits. Dayton Taki with a 3-for-3 night. That's a bonus for Oklahoma if you can get that kind of game. On top of J.D. Thompson throwing for Vandy, Chris, Miller Green also threw, and he threw like 35-ish pitches. So I don't know if they'll go back to him, right? And I mean, that's a big bullpen arm that Vandy has. So I don't. That's just something else to watch going forward in this series. But no Kyson Witherspoon. Cade Crossland did great. 8 strikeouts, 1 earned run. Didn't walk a lot of guys. He did give up 2 runs that were unearned. But nonetheless, with the way the offense played for Oklahoma, you're going to get wins with that kind of stat line. So, kind of a weird situation with Oklahoma with Witherspoon, but they, the offense had probably one of their best games of the season in SEC play, at least with the way they hit the ball. So, couldn't have come at a better time.
Vanderbilt's got enough pitching to get through the weekend fine. The problem for Vandy now is you got to go against Witherspoon. Like, if you take a loss on Friday night, you're like, okay, that's fine. We face Kyson Witherspoon, except you didn't.
Right.
And so now you got to come back. I thought Crossland was the story of the night, though. I mean, he was really good. JUCO kid has not been super effective in the league, but looked good on the mound. He was around the corners or on the corners all night. I think he was 96 with the fastball. I was impressed. So they need more starting pitching. If you Skip Johnson, you can kind of bottle that up and use it going forward. Maybe they found another starter, or maybe it's just playing Vanderbilt, which isn't at the top of the hitting stats. We'll wait and see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you expecting to see Kyson this weekend, or do you think they'll hold him?
Well, they said. Skip Johnson said in the in-game interview, and I still don't understand why they do those. I would hate that if I were a coach.
I would
but
too.
he said he'd pitch later in the weekend.
Okay. Well, also, if you remember our chat and visit with Skip, I mean, Skip seems like a good time and seems like one of the coaches in the league you want to, have a beer with. So it seems like he'll talk to anybody and tell anybody anything.
We could have talked to Skip Johnson literally for like 4 or 5 hours. If we had not had other work to do that day, that was so much fun. I love that guy. Go ahead.
Boy, for Vandy, you really needed that one. I caught the last 3 innings of it. Saw each team hit a home run, which is interesting. These are 2 teams that don't really hit for power, home runs or doubles, but you saw a lot of doubles tonight, and each team with a 1 home run. So if you're Vandy, this just has to be a little, deflating, right? I mean, obviously you get 2 more cracks at it this weekend, but if Kyson is 80% of what he normally is, I mean, that's still a tough out.
Yeah. He's hands down their best starter. That park, I hadn't watched many games there. I think that's got to be the deepest park in the league. And you're out there on the plains, so the wind can do like a lot of stuff. Like it can blow in, it can blow out. LSU last weekend, nobody was scoring in that because it was cold and windy and blowing in. So, but if it gets out, I think Skip told us the ball can get out of there in a hurry.
Stings for Vandy too. I think they fell behind early and then kind of were climbing back. And then this is kind of a theme with the games tonight. Oklahoma just had an explosive final few innings that set it over the edge. So yeah. Stings a little bit. If you're Vandy, I think at this point you want to get the game that's not Kyson Witherspoon at least.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't afford to get swept if you want to stay in a good spot in the hosting picture. We didn't get to Missouri, Florida because they didn't play. So that'll be a doubleheader tomorrow, I think.
My question with that, do we know, did they warm up? Like, did they get hot at all for that game?
I don't know.
Because if they did, that's going to impact both teams pitching the rest of the way.
Yeah. Well, that is as much as Florida's down. That's a hold my beer situation at Missouri because they are really. Although I think Jacoby's the best guy they've got, And so, well, and that maybe that's why you asked, because if they warm Jacoby up today, and then he can't go, they're really in a world of hurt.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Even Florida, you still got to be careful, right? Because Aiden King was coming up at some point, and
Yeah.
you know, if you warm him up, that's one of your best arms that's healthy. So, you know, something to watch for that one tomorrow.
I think Jacoby's not their best arm. I'm thinking of Caden Drew, which that one's not a pretty picture either. But yeah, I mean, Florida got a chance. By the way, we didn't touch on the Thursday night games. We did hit on A&M a little bit. Florida, since they didn't play, we'll mention the Thursday night game. They got Missouri 11-2. Liam Peterson was good for them, 5 1/3, 7 Ks, 2 runs.
6 in the
Heyman
first.
and Sears got home run. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Missouri can hit a little bit. It's just that the arms, when they lost, oh gosh, who's the guy they lost? Pimentel?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, their season may have been over before it started with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially when you look at Florida scoring 6 runs, right, in that first inning of that Thursday game, by way of some home runs, too, from Luke Heyman and Blake Sear. Brendan Lawson, one of the 500 quadrillion freshmen in this league. He's also one of them, having a really good year. He got in on the scoring as well. Missouri is not built really to win, but especially not built to come back down 6-0 in a first inning. So
yeah.
That's just kind of once that happened, you just kind of felt like it was Florida to take it.
Do you guys want to look ahead to tomorrow just a little bit?
I think we can.
Yeah, I'll read the pitching matchups as I've got them here. Missouri and Florida tomorrow. I think the first one starts at 4 Central. That's Caden Jacoby against Aiden King. You've got the finale of A&M and South Carolina in College Station. That is South Carolina going TBA against Miles Patton. You've got in Athens, you've got Gabe Gackle and Colton Smith, 3 Central. Texas and Kentucky, you've got Luke Harrison and Luke McKay, 11 Central tomorrow on the SEC Network. By the way, this is probably the only series where this is the case. I think the best pitching matchup of the weekend is Game 3 in Rojas against Cleaver. So watch that one. Let's see. Tomorrow, Mississippi State and Alabama. You've got Evan Sierra and Riley Quick. That one at 2 Central in Tuscaloosa. Ianson and Fisher tomorrow night in Auburn at 6 Central. Marcus Phillips, Riley Maddox in Oxford, 4 Central tomorrow. And Cody Boker. And Kate Crossan was supposed to pitch today. So I guess they moved Witherspoon tomorrow against Bowker, which that'll be a really good matchup too. Mm-hmm. Presuming the back spasms have become a thing of the past. So that's what we have tomorrow.
Interested to see Riley Maddox, Marcus Phillips, the dynamic of that one. Maybe whether Riley Maddox gets juiced by being at home and how Marcus Phillips does on the road. That's just something to look at. Both guys have been solid at times, obviously, for both teams, but kind of just interested to see how that one goes there. If you're Ole Miss, you kind of want to bounce back after that really kind of abysmal offensive game they had. So, yeah, that's one I'm really watching for tomorrow.
Yeah, here's the thing about Maddox. Maddox is coming off his best outing of the season last week, but prior to that, guys, it was not good. I mean, like his ERA was around 8. Like he'd given up, I think, 7 runs in one outing and 5 in another one. So he was really, really good last week. This is a different animal though. This Tennessee offense. So I'm curious, like once Maddox gets through the original lineup the second time around, that's going to be determining the outcome of this game. Like the second time around for the Tennessee offense, and then what does Phillips look like on the mound on the road in this environment? The weather looks good. I know Sam's there. Hopefully Sam had a good time in Oxford. And yes, I saw your comment about parking. Sam, I've lived it my whole life. You don't have to tell me about parking being a nightmare.
Did Sam have a good time? Is the sky blue?
Well, of course.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. The crowd looked great, and the thing about whenever you play Tennessee, like their fans stick out, like wearing that orange, like it pops on TV. So it looked like a decent amount of Tennessee fans as well that made the trip to Swayze Field. Over 11,000 is what I saw the attendance. Good crowd tonight at Auburn, by the way, too. I think they set a single game record.
Yeah, someone mentioned that. Really good crowds tonight, which is nice because, well, there's no more basketball, so this is the sport really, to watch. So you're probably going to see more of that, to be honest.
All right, let's wrap up in the next few minutes. Let's do players of the night and teams of the night. We'll do medal stand style like we do in basketball. So I've got my players of the night. I'll give you guys a few minutes to get yours.
Okay.
And then see, and I'm going to stall, give you guys time. I'll read some of the comments. So
I'm pretty sure we might all have the same player.
I think, well, with gold, silver, bronze, so we can give out some love to some other guys too. That's the interesting part. I'm gonna make my final selections. I'll give you guys a minute. Let's see, comments. Where do we want to start? Chris says Arkansas not only the number one, but literally the hottest team in baseball without a doubt. That's probably right. Texas might have a say in that if you take out the midweeks. But no doubt. The way Arkansas is just blowing everybody off the map with some of these lopsided scores is getting some attention. Let's see. I'm biased against Arkansas. That's interesting. Okay. Tennessee has a fully rested bullpen for Ole Miss for the remainder of the weekend. I would say they do. They use Lloyd tonight for a hitter or two.
Point. And Ole Miss used one of the biggest bullets in the chamber tonight, Morris, who was good, but you're not going to see Morris tomorrow.
Ole Miss pretty much had to have tonight if it was going to get the series. So, although I haven't said that, those guys are in a rebound spot after last week because their starting pitching was not good against A&M a week ago.
So Sam, you're gonna see hooks tomorrow for sure in the bullpen for Ole Miss.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Arkansas was something like a plus 185 run differential right now. I'm surprised it's not more, to be honest. Texas leading the SEC in ERA. Is that overall
in SEC games?
Well, and they've played LSU and Georgia. My goodness.
Yeah,
and again, it is as bad as Missouri is. Missouri can hit a little bit, so that's pretty super impressive. Kate Anderson got lit up. Josh loves to see that. That was maybe a little disappointing. I thought Kate Anderson would pitch better. Well, I wonder what the pitch count on him was tonight. Any word on Nolan's? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say Josh is a hater. I like when Kate Anderson does good. It was unfortunate, but a good win for Auburn.
Any word on Nolan Souza? I have not heard. Have you guys?
I have not heard either. By the look of it, I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't play tomorrow. We'll see though. Someone said it was a weird tag. Like it was weird when he was going into third trying to avoid a tag and he hurt himself. So we'll see. Well, there you go. Thank you. DVH said he's out for a while. So unfortunate.
What's a while though? Well, define a while. Is it announced?
I don't know. I wonder if that was a separated shoulder.
Dave Van Horn.
Or dislocated.
He's probably in a little bit of pain, but I don't know much yet. He hurt it pretty bad. He's out for the rest of the weekend. probably.
I don't know. I mean, how much does that hurt them?
Not a lot. I mean, this is not anything against Nolan Souza. They have, enough depth to combat that. I mean, it's the unfortunate part to me is Nolan Souza started out I said this, earlier. Souza started out the year rough and then just kind of came on as the offense as a whole came on. So kind of a sickening derailment in his season. But I think Arkansas is fine. I mean, even if you're playing at Foley Field.
I mean, he was easily the worst hitter in that lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Van Horn's official quote after the game is out for this series, maybe a lot longer than that.
Yeah. Who was it? Was it Gabe Frazier that got that big hit late that helped break it open? The triple? I think that's who it was.
A Foley Field triple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just weird.
Yeah. Let's see. Where do we leave off here? Yeah, Sue's out multiple games, done for the weekend. Eric says the Hogs are plus 231. That sounds more like it. Doyle over the last 15 plus innings has given up 2 hits. Yeah, that's a pretty dominating last 2 starts. A combined no hitter and then that, which I think that was tougher than no hitter.
Yeah,
playing Ole Miss in that park in that spot, to me that was more impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Clint says Tennessee getting AJ Russell back soon, arguably. I mean, it could be. I don't think I'll go there because I just don't. Russell hasn't gone more than 2 innings yet, guys. I don't think he's going to start going 6 or 7 right away.
It's just been kind of definitively or technically to me opening midweek games is what he's been doing. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, if he gets back to full form, yeah. I mean, his fastball is ridiculous. So I hope he gets back in there because yes, Clint, that is one of the best rotations I'll say in the SEC. Texas and LSU might like to have a word. I know Kate Anderson wasn't good tonight, but usually that's not the case. But they're up there. I mean, they're right up there with it.
He's available on the injury report, and Sam Smith says he threw bullpen tonight. I mean, I'll take his word he was there. And then he said he'll go 3 innings on Tuesday. So death, taxes, and Sam knowing about pitching for Tennessee.
Well, my understanding is that is a handle with care situation. He's a draft guy. He's a top 50. He was like a top 50 draft prospect coming into the year. And that's not like a college prospect. I think that's like overall. So that puts you borderline first round. That is from what I've heard, other voices in the conversation there in terms of usage, agents, parents, that kind of thing. So we'll see where that goes. I will believe it when I see it with him getting stretched out. But I mean, boy, if they do, he's fantastic. So, let's see.
Sam with some pretty big news there, I think, about AJ.
Mm-hmm.
Agent and family have him on a 50-inning limit this season.
Yeah, that's more specific than what I had, but I had heard something this week about that being managed from the outside a bit. So
what would be the math on that then? Like if they unleash him fully, like at what point if they want to make a run Super Regionals Omaha?
Well, I mean, we've got 5 weekends left after this in the regular season.
17 SEC games.
Yeah, you've got to start in the SEC tournament, so that's 6. You got a regional of 7, a Super's 8. In Omaha could be up to the 3, depending how you go.
They could do a little Stamos thing like they did last year once they get to Omaha to help his inning count.
So that's potentially 11 starts, if I got my math right. Wait, that can't be right.
Well,
wait a minute. Okay, 5 more plus Hoover is 6.
Right.
Regional 7, Super's 8, 2 in the regular round of Omaha, and then 1 in the title round if you get there, the best 2 or 3. So maybe that's it. But so I mean, you could go, in that scenario, I could see it.
Right.
But I mean, keep in mind he's not gone longer than 2 all year.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, of course, you got a lot of
Sam said he won't. There's a chance he won't pitch in Hoover. That's very likely too. I mean, based off how people treat it.
Why use him there? Like, it doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
Well, you use him to get him some work. Use him in a low pressure spot just to get him some pitches. But Clint's right. LSU's dangerous. I'm telling you. Kate Anderson had a bad night, but if they get Chase Shores and William Schmidt really humming like they're capable of, I mean, Einson's been as consistent as there's been. And they got Case and Evans just slamming the door at the end. So, and not to mention Zach Cowan. So, boy, Sam's got some bad injury news here. Life flights, all that stuff. Can Arkansas stay hot in the postseason? Baseball is about getting hot at the right time. Yes and no. It's also about being elite. Like, I think teams that are marginal that get hot, yeah, but I mean, Arkansas is just so – and I know they got kind of the bad memories of 2021, where they kept going Kevin Kopps or bust. This team is constructed a lot different than that. This team is way better than that team.
Right. And also, like, you need breaks. You know, like, you gotta have your team healthy. There could be upsets, you know, who you get matched up with in the super regionals and Omaha. So, like, in order to win the whole thing, like, you need breaks along the way here or there. But this Arkansas team is just much different than what we've seen here the last 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, and what is it? Zach's, I guess, says not many Arkansas fans are feeling really good right now. This team looks the part, but we're cursed. Hey, I'm telling you, this team's built differently than a lot. I think some of the teams that they've had, you could identify very easily the flaws, and you could see them coming. And I don't think that fan base wanted to hear it. This ain't that team.
Yeah, those teams are top heavy, pitching wise, and at the lineup, in their lineup 1 through 9. Yeah. This team is probably the most balanced team that he's had in a long time.
That's why I went like this to that, because if you're an Arkansas fan and you don't feel good about this team, I don't really know what to tell you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're too close to it if that's how you feel.
Right. And people are all up in arms about the chat. Yes, Arkansas is a really good rotation when they get healthy and get Gage Wood back. Bot Magnet said Hog pitching not as good this year. Just wait until Gage Wood gets back and healthy, and we'll get back to that. Parker Coyle as well. He's been out and missing some time.
Oh yeah. See that's the thing I keep bringing. They've got dudes in reserve. I mean, dudes with a capital D in reserve. You've got a Will McIntyre just kind of sitting out there in the weeds, who's pitched a ton, and like that's not that they're going to need it this year, but can give you 6 innings in a key regional game or something like that. Jimenez looked good tonight. Ben Bybee has been. I mean, you just go on and on. I mean, Gackle can pitch better than he's pitched. We all know that. And he has – I mean, I just think they have got – I look at how the parts in the lineup are constructed, and I just do not see – I don't see weaknesses. I see guys that can get better, but I don't see weaknesses.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Please put Sam's most recent comment on the screen.
Oh, boy. Have you looked at a – have you looked on social media today at all?
just a hair.
Sam,
wow.
I don't think he can. I don't think that would be that good. Much respect to Liam Doyle, but yeah, quite the story. Check that out. If you guys are interested in that story, I'm sure everyone knows what we're referring to. We did a video on that today, me and Jay Greason, and we talked about it. And at this point, there's not much more to talk about. You just kind of got to wait.
Yeah. Anything else in the comments?
I mean, I just see a lot of Arkansas fans in here. First of all, thanks for watching. Continue to watch us, but like you should feel good. Like don't feel
explain
cursed.
That to me. I mean, I don't believe in cursed. I get it. you're invested in a team. I mean, the Red Sox felt cursed until they,
Yeah, guys,
were the
like
best team in baseball for a decade. Come on.
The Cubs have won the World Series in our lifetime. So like you're gonna get one.
Lighten up and
Sure.
relax.
Yeah.
Your hitting is so good. I love watching it. And I get it. The pitching, you don't have Hagen Smith, but you have a lot of good pitchers who can pitch really good on any given night. And you have guys who are hurt who can also pitch good on any given night when they come back. You're the number one team in the country. You're doing fine. Did you watch tonight? Tonight was pretty cool. They did pretty well tonight. I don't.
Also, this is every SEC fan, like whatever your team, university, like everybody has one of these sports. Like we are cursed and fill in the blank. Everybody has one of these.
Yes.
Everybody's convinced they're cursed.
Unless you're Alabama football fan under the heyday of Nick Saban, where life was good for 2 decades, like you're good.
There are two fan bases that I think are just convinced they're cursed more than others, and I'm going to see if we're thinking the same thing.
Pooh, I got a lot.
I mean, like you said, everybody's got a complex, but there's two when I think about it that stand out.
All right, I got one.
Okay.
I got one. Like instantly.
Okay.
It's got to be Tennessee.
That wasn't the one I was thinking.
Really? I think not baseball, obviously, but the other ones, yeah. I think they're in agony a lot of the time. Despite how good they've been.
It's so funny just looking at all these comments. Like everybody, you got every school in the conference being listed right now. So, I mean, I'm telling you guys, it's literally everybody in the league feels this way about a particular sport for your favorite team.
You're right. Tennessee, the basketball thing. I don't know how I mean, they are just convinced that they will never, fill in the blank.
Yeah, I know. Like Auburn is what do they say? Java, just Auburn being Auburn. Like that's they're saying. Ole Miss, trust me, we are Ole Miss. Like that's a tagline.
Yeah. Auburn and Arkansas were the two that I thought of. I mean, Arkansas, it's just self-evident. Look at the chat, and Auburn is just. I mean,
someone said
the roller coaster ride on the SEC shorts for Auburn is one of the best things they've ever done.
Yeah.
Someone said A&M. That's also a good answer. Honestly,
yeah, that's
a very good answer. Now, what Gunner just said in the chat is correct. No one can compete with a drop foul ball that would have won the national championship. I don't know how Arkansas fans survive that. I mean, that's brutal. That is a gut punch.
But see, here's what I really respect about it. It is so hard to do what he's done. And I'm not gonna name names because I don't want to shortchange anybody. But how many programs have won a random natty here and there in something, and then kind of like never been heard from again much for a while?
Fresno State, 2008. Coastal Carolina, 2016.
Yeah. Fresno State was a different thing in its own, but Coastal's a great example. I mean, there's all kinds of them, and I mean, that is the hardest thing to do, to be right there every year. He's missed one regional since he's been in Fayetteville.
Yeah, he's had the one. You touched on this the other day. He's had the one season where I think they won like 7 games or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, other than that, he's been lights out.
Yeah, that is incredibly hard to do, and it's harder in a league like this one.
Yes.
Like I could see like almost a Sun Belt team doing that before an SEC team in a way.
Yeah.
But
depending on the team, for sure. We're still getting a lot of great comments, by the way.
Yeah. Yes. And I mean, they're not just slipping into regionals as a 2 or a 3. They're hosting a lot. So.
Yeah, Georgia before Kirby got there. Yeah.
Oh,
Georgia. Is that baseball or basketball? Oh, that's when they won the Natty, I believe.
Yes.
That's
in
before
baseball.
I followed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they didn't do much after. I think that's before I really followed it. But anyway, we ready for medal stand?
Yes, we are. I have mine.
Okay. We're gonna do player and team.
Okay.
Gold, silver, bronze.
I'll start with players. Gold. This is going to be everyone's pick. Liam Doyle. 14 strikeouts on the road. Super dominant start. He's been really good his past 2 starts. If you go back to A&M last week, enough said. 8 1/3, 14 strikeouts. Really good stuff from him. My silver is going to be Bear Harrison, just for the 7 RBIs he had in that Texas A&M game. I mean, that's an offensive machine. So I have him second. And then third, sorry, Auburn Chris, if you're still watching, I'm sorry. It's not Sam Dutton, but my bronze is going to be Ethan Mendoza. Because whenever he's on like he was tonight, I think Texas 9 times out of 10, and that's kind, wins the baseball game they're playing. And, he kind of had that impact again on offense tonight. So the silver and bronze, I think, for us might get some different answers, and I might have left someone out major, but I'm going to go Doyle, Harrison, Mendoza. And then do I do teams as well? You want me to do those?
Hold your teams. I'll do players, Graham, and then I'll do mine.
Okay. I definitely I misunderstood. I had 2 players and a team.
Oh, sorry.
I'm with you on Doyle. For gold. My silver is going to be Crossland for Oklahoma. Just because he didn't anticipate to go tonight. He's playing against a very good Vanderbilt team, and I thought he was really good. And for somebody who woke up today, wasn't banking on starting, like that's who I'm going to go with. Those are my top 2, and then I can't think of a third one off the top of my head, but I do have my team. So whenever we do teams, I'm ready for teams.
Okay, I'm going gold. Gold was easy. That's Doyle. I'm going Sam Dutton. Silver. I'm always going to lean a pitcher who just has a dominating start. Doing that in that spot against that lineup, against the team that you played for what, 3 years or 2 or whatever it was, that is super impressive. A lot riding on that one. Same with Doyle. I think it wasn't just the results, but it was the spot. And I think the last one, Bear Harrison. You hit a home run, you knock in 7 runs. There you go. Teams. I'll let you start us, and then I'm going to mute so you don't have to hear that.
Well, I think if that's Oreo, he's saying Texas A&M gold, right? He better be saying Texas A&M gold. 17-0 run rule win. A&M, for now, is back to the form we expected them to be at. This was the climax of that, so they get the gold for a 17-0 win. Silver for me, I'm going to go Auburn for the silver. I mean, to beat Cade Anderson and to have the offensive night you had with 8 of your players getting a hit in the game, I think it was 13 hits total. They definitely deserve the silver for that performance. And since I shorted Sam Dutton, I will definitely get them on the podium for that. And bronze, I'm going to go Oklahoma. Just because of their offense. That really stood out to me as something that was kind of an asterisk based on how they were kind of flatlining for a little bit in SEC play, and the offense had their best night really in SEC play. So in order, A&M, Auburn, Oklahoma.
My gold, I'm going to go with Auburn. We all picked LSU to win this series. Now we still got 2 to go, but Auburn, they scored first. They had the lead pretty much the entire game. It was 6-0 at one point. Really impressed with Auburn to set the tone right away in this series against LSU. My silver, I'm going to go with Arkansas over Georgia. Picked the Hogs to win the series. Did not think that it would be a 10-run victory at any point throughout the course of the weekend. So the Razorbacks look good against a very good opponent in Georgia, winning that one 13-3. And then my bronze, I'm going to go with Mississippi State. They got confidence. They got the momentum right now, and they go on the road and they run rule the Alabama Crimson Tide, a top 10 team. So State with the momentum, they get my bronze.
Yeah, I'm gonna go gold. Arkansas. Georgia not lost a game by 4 runs all year, and I think they lost once at Foley Field. I've got this down on my notes as Missouri State in the midweek. I'm gonna see if that's right. Yeah, they were 22-2 after tonight. I mean, winning at that place might be good enough to get you the gold. Winning, what was it, 13-3? Yeah, that one to me was pretty easy. Silver, I'm going Auburn again because of the spot and who you beat and Dutton being that impressive. And I'm going to go bronze. I'm going to go Tennessee. We get really enamored with offense right now. Win at a 3-2 game in somebody else's yard with everybody packed from the rafters and the Doyle and Fisher storylines. That was a big performance, especially coming off what happened in Knoxville last week. Anyway, I think that's it, unless you guys have got anything to add or any comments here that I missed.
Will Sample, I'm sorry, Arkansas will be on my podium probably at some point this weekend.
Oh, I think we pissed everybody off in some order because, I mean, and look, let's be honest. Mississippi State kind of got overlooked by going to Tuscaloosa and doing that with the pitching they got. A&M, I mean, beating anybody in this league like that is impressive. Although I'm starting to think some of that may be a little bit about South Carolina, but still, I mean, everybody's going to have a gripe. That's just where we went.
Mm-hmm.
And even Oklahoma was really good tonight. So
yeah, the offense impressed me enough to put them there. So
and Texas, good grief, Texas going to Lexington and winning that.
Mm-hmm.
Holding Kentucky to 2 runs, pitching the way Texas continues to pitch. I mean, look, you've got, what was it, 8 of the top 10 teams in D1?
Yeah.
So, by definition, some of these teams are going to play each other, but you're going to piss somebody off. So, anyway, that's just what it is.
Well, we get to do it all again tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We'll be back tomorrow doing this. So
come back tomorrow so you get mad at us again. Right, exactly.
Keep typing. Type away. This was really cool.
That's on a T-shirt somewhere.
Right. I may not be part of that one tomorrow because I gotta take a night off at some point. But I'll definitely be here for Sunday. And then we'll do Power Rankings Monday morning. We'll do those live at 10. We'll have I think we're going to do live shows Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 10 Central in the morning. I think we'll record our previews on Thursday. We won't do that live. And I think we're going to do it. We're starting with a Thursday night reaction. I don't know if we'll do that Friday morning or we'll do that Thursday night. But either way, we're going to basically have baseball content coming your way just about 7 days a week from here through the rest of the season. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Super chats are always appreciated. Hopefully we'll start grabbing some of those for baseball soon. We're just glad you're here. The comments tonight were great. The chat was great. Our audience here is great. Even when you give us crap, hey, we're just glad you're here. So for Graham Doty, for Alfred Esmond, I'm Chris Lee. God bless you. Have a great night. We'll see you soon with more baseball content at Southeastern 16.